So what is redistricting all about? So basically the city of Vacaville is going from at-large city council districts, which means the city council, the 4 people we have today, are in charge of the entire city. So they're responsible, the 4 of them are all responsible for all of the city. So you see a map right here. We've got blue, we've got pink, we've got yellow, we've got green. Currently today, this does not exist. Every city council member is a representative for the entire city. There is a law at the state called the California Voters' Rights Act, and it goes around looking at local elections and local demographics, and essentially the purpose of that is to make sure that underrepresented groups have a voice on their city government. So they look at race, they look at income, they look at educational attainment, they look at home ownership, and they make sure that your city council represents that and that it's reasonable for folks that come from those backgrounds to win elections. If you're a 5-time incumbent or 4-time incumbent or 3-time incumbent and you've got lots of money and you're probably from the wealthier part of town, maybe from Buck Avenue, it's a lot easier for you to win election than maybe someone who's a low-income family from the south side of town or maybe from the Markham neighborhoods. So the idea is you carve town up into districts that actually make sense for those neighborhoods and those residents. So that's what the city's doing. So next week, August 14th, Tuesday night, 6 p.m., there is a meeting. It's one of the final meetings to discuss what the makeup of the city will look like. Super important you understand this process and you have your voice heard. And you may disagree with me today, and that's totally fine. But what I'm hoping you will do is at least come out and speak or email the city. So here's 4. So this is a proposal for 4 districts. And so you can see here, the blue has most of Browns Valley, most of the new development up Vacaville Parkway. It also has Leisure Town. And so that kind of may make sense or may not make sense. With 4, you don't have a ton of options. The green area there has most of the Southtown development, a lot of the new development, a lot of the newer homes. Foxborough's plugged in there, which kind of sort of makes sense, I guess. The yellow is a lot of the South Side homes, a lot of the Wilsey Wood families. That's where I live. I think that map kind of makes sense, at least on this 4, although I really want 6 districts. And then the red has the Markham neighborhoods, downtown, kind of Dobbins, North Alamo, North Orchard areas. And that is where the city council currently appears to be leaning. But all of the commentary, if you look back the last couple of meetings, 99% of it is residents asking for 6 districts. People want a representative voice. So it's very important you show up and make your voice heard because city council currently is not really listening. Here is an example of a 6. I'm sorry, that's another 4. You can see the makeup there. Here's a 6. This is the map I like. This is the purple map. So again, blue has most of Browns Valley. It has a lot of the new development. It does have Leisure Town, which concerns me a little bit, but I do think there's some common interests there. Purple, again, has some of the older South Side, nicer homes, and some of that new development. And then the blue has a lot of the new South Side homes as well as Foxborough. The green, again, represents those South Side Wilsey Wood families really well. Again, I'm pretty familiar with those neighborhoods because that's where I live. It makes a lot of sense. The yellow is kind of the heart of town. It's got the Markham Heights neighborhoods, a lot of those rental neighborhoods, which I think also gives that group a representative voice and makes it easier for folks from those areas to get elected. And then the red is kind of like old North Vacaville. And so, again, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's got downtown. It's got West Monte Vista, North Alamo, North Orchard. Makes a ton of sense to me. They have one other 6. They're going to show 2 different variations of new 4s and 1 different variation of a 6 on next week's meeting. And again, it's very important that you come out and show up and discuss what you want. Maybe you don't want 6. Maybe you want 4. That's fine. Come tell council what you want because they're going to make up the boundaries for this map that is going to impact Vacaville for the rest of your voting life. We will not be going back from districts to at large again. And so you want to make sure, depending on where you live, your neighborhood makes sense in the district that you think makes sense. So whether you're from Leisure Town, from Markham, you're a South Side family, please come out and tell them what you feel. Tell them if you feel you've been overrepresented or underrepresented. I know on my side of town, I don't often see council members over here or talking about our issues. And we've got some issues over here. So I really do think that we need to have good, adequate representation. Again, 6 p.m. next week, Tuesday, City Council chambers downtown. Show up, make your voice heard. If you can't come, you can email the city, and that's also equally important. They read off the emails at the council meetings. So if you can't make it, just shoot them an email. It's just as important. Let council know what you think. This is going to be a big deal. And obviously, council has a vested interest in kind of maintaining the status quo because they want to, keep their power base, which I get. But residents of Vacaville need a voice, and this is your opportunity to do that. So please take some time next Tuesday. It's coming up quick. Thank you again. This is Nolan Sullivan. Have a great evening. Thanks. Bye.